I'm pregnant. With your baby. And your wife is walking through that door right now. I watched Kang Ji-Hoon's face drain of color as the elegant Korean woman in a white Chanel suit glided into the private restaurant like a goddess of vengeance. His chopsticks clattered onto the table. "Ayana," he whispered, his hand shooting across the table to grip mine. "Listen to me very carefully. Ji-Hoona." His wife's voice was honey-sweet poison. "What a surprise seeing you here. With your employee." Wait. Before I tell you how a girl from Lagos ended up pregnant by Seoul's most dangerous CEO while his marriage imploded in the most spectacular way possible, smash that subscribe button. And tell me where you are watching from. Trust me, this story gets wild. Now let me take you back to where this beautiful chaos started. My name is Ayana Okonkwo, and I moved from Lagos to Seoul with three things: an MBA from London Business School, enough audacity to fill the Han River, and absolutely no patience for nonsense. Which is exactly why I walked into Kang Ji-Hoon's office on my first day and told him his quarterly report was garbage. "Excuse me." His dark eyes snapped up from his laptop. Every employee had warned me about the CEO, how he was gorgeous, ruthless, and rumored to have connections to some very dangerous people. How his marriage was a business arrangement with the powerful Min family. How he made grown men cry in board meetings. I wasn't impressed. "Your Q3 analysis," I said, dropping my tablet on his ridiculously expensive desk. "It's surface level. You're missing the pattern in the Tokyo subsidiary's numbers. Someone's either extremely incompetent or actively embezzling." Silence stretched between us. His jaw tightened. Then, unexpectedly, he laughed, a real, genuine laugh that transformed his sharp features into something devastatingly handsome. "You're either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid, Miss Okonkwo. Option 3, incredibly right. Check the numbers yourself." He did. For 20 minutes, I stood there while he worked through my analysis, his fingers flying across the keyboard. Finally, he leaned back, studying me with an intensity that made my skin tingle. "You just saved this company 50 million won. Possibly more." "You're welcome. Can I go now? I have actual work to do." Another smile. Dangerous, this time. "I like you. How would you feel about heading my special projects division?" "Is that the one everyone whispers about? The don't ask what Ji-Hoon's special projects team actually does division?" "Smart and observant." "Yes, that one." "Will I need to shoot anyone?" "Not usually." "Then sure, why not? Beats auditing spreadsheets all day." That's how I became the right hand to a man who, I'd learn, wasn't just a CEO. He was the legitimate face of a family with very illegitimate business interests. The Kang family controlled half of Seoul's underground operations, but they'd gone mostly clean in recent years. Mostly. Ji-Hoon was trying to pull them fully into the light. His arranged marriage to Min Hye-jin was supposed to cement their new legitimate status. Her family's political connections for his family's money and power. But as I spent 12-hour days working alongside him, I discovered something terrifying. Kang Ji-Hoon wasn't just brilliant and dangerous. He was funny. Kind to his staff. Passionate about protecting the employees his family's past had once threatened. And the way he looked at me sometimes, like I was the most fascinating puzzle he'd ever encountered. "You're staring," I told him one late night in his office, 3 weeks into my new position. "You have kimchi on your cheek." "No, I don't." "I checked anyway." "You're a liar." "I made you look though." He grinned, and my traitorous heart did a little flip. "Come on, I'm starving. Let's get dinner." It's 11 p.m. "So? I know a place." That's how we started. Late night dinners after brutal workdays, him teaching me Korean while I taught him Yoruba phrases that made him laugh. Him explaining the intricacies of Seoul's power structures while I shared stories about Lagos's chaotic beauty. "Your wife doesn't mind you having dinner with your employee?" I asked one night, emboldened by soju. His expression shuttered. "Hygiene and I have an understanding. Our marriage is a contract. Nothing more." That's sad. That's reality. He poured me more soju. "She has her life. I have mine. We're civil at public events and live completely separately otherwise. Sounds lonely. It was. His eyes met mine, intense and burning. Until recently. My breath caught. The air between us crackled with something dangerous and inevitable. Ji-Hoon. I know. He stood abruptly. We should go. This is inappropriate. But 2 weeks later, working late on a merger deal, our hands brushed over the same document. He looked at me. I looked at him. This is a terrible idea, I whispered. Catastrophically bad, he agreed. Then his mouth was on mine, and the world exploded into heat and want and the taste of his lips. He kissed me like I was oxygen and he'd been drowning. I kissed him back like I wasn't the sensible girl who'd moved across the world for a career, like I didn't care that he was my boss, that he was married, that this could destroy everything. Ayana, he breathed against my lips. Tell me to stop. Absolutely not. He groaned, lifting me onto his desk, papers scattering everywhere. His hands tangled in my braids, and mine worked at his shirt buttons, desperate to feel his skin against mine. I'm filing for divorce, he said between kisses. I've wanted to for years. The marriage was already dead. But now, God Ayana, now I have a reason to actually fight for what I want. And what do you want? His answer was to kiss me deeper, to hold me tighter, to whisper my name like a prayer and a curse combined. We didn't sleep together that night. We had enough self-control left for that. But we crossed a line we could never uncross. The next morning, Ji-Hoon called his lawyer and started divorce proceedings. And 2 months later, staring at 2 pink lines on a pregnancy test in my apartment bathroom, I realized our terrible, wonderful idea had consequences neither of us had planned for. Hi Jean, Ji-Hoon said, standing to face his wife while keeping my hand firmly in his. This isn't what you think. Really? She smiled, but her eyes were cold. Because it looks like you're having a romantic dinner with the woman you've been sneaking around with for months. The woman you're divorcing me for. I'm divorcing you because our marriage was a business arrangement that's run its course. You know that. We agreed. We agreed to maintain appearances until after the Min-Kong merger finalized. Her voice rose, carefully controlled mask slipping. But you couldn't wait, could you? Had to chase after your little. Careful, I interrupted, standing up. My hand instinctively moved to my still flat stomach. You really want to finish that sentence? She looked at me, really looked at me, and something clicked in her eyes. Her gaze dropped to my protective gesture, and she laughed bitterly. Oh my God. You're pregnant. Ji-Hoon's sharp intake of breath confirmed what his wife had just guessed. The secret I'd just told him 30 seconds before she walked in was now out in the worst possible way. Hi Jean, he started. No. You know what? Fine. Have your little love story. She grabbed her purse, composure returning like armor. But you have no idea what you've just started. My family doesn't forgive embarrassment, Ji-Hoon. And getting your employee pregnant while still technically married to me? That's the ultimate embarrassment. She turned on her designer heel and walked out, leaving a wake of expensive perfume and implied threats. Ji-Hoon immediately turned to me, cupping my face in his hands. Are you okay? Is the baby? We're fine. I placed my hands over his. But she's right, isn't she? This is going to get messy. Let it. His thumbs brushed my cheeks. I don't care about messy. I care about you. About our baby. His voice cracked with emotion. Ayana, I know this isn't how we planned it, but... Planned it? Ji-Hoon, we didn't plan any of this. I was supposed to come here, advance my career, and maybe have some bibimbap adventures. Not fall for my Mafia boss and get knocked up. He laughed despite everything, pulling me close. For the record, my family's mostly legitimate now. Mostly doesn't exactly inspire confidence, babe. I love when you call me that. He kissed my forehead, then my nose, then hovered just above my lips. I'm going to protect you. Both of you. Whatever the Min family tries. We'll handle it together, I finished. Because I didn't come this far to let some scary in-laws intimidate me. I've dealt with Lagos traffic. I can handle anything. He grinned and kissed me properly, deep and claiming and full of promise. When we finally broke apart, both breathless, his phone buzzed with a text. His expression darkened as he read it. What is it? My father wants to see us. Tomorrow morning. He knows about the baby. My stomach dropped. How? Hygiene probably called her father, who called mine. Information travels fast in our world. He squeezed my hand. But don't worry. I'll handle him. We'll handle him, I corrected. Together, remember? He pulled me close again, his lips brushing my ear as he whispered, God, I'm going to marry you so hard. That's not how marriage works. His mouth cut off my sass with a kiss that promised exactly how tonight was going to end. And despite the chaos waiting for us tomorrow, despite the threats and the mess and the impossibility of our situation, I kissed him back with everything I had. Because Ayana Okonkwo didn't run from challenges. And Kang Ji-Hoon was the best challenge I'd ever face. The Kang family estate looked like something out of a K-drama. Traditional Hanok architecture mixed with modern security systems, sprawling gardens, and enough guards to invade a small country. So, just to be clear, I said as Ji-Hoon's driver pulled through the gates, your father is semi-retired Mafia, your mother is old money Seoul elite, and your older brother runs the legitimate business side while still maintaining family connections to very illegal things? That's surprisingly accurate. Ji-Hoon squeezed my hand. But remember, they're moving away from all that. The family's been going clean for 5 years now. Mostly clean. Mostly clean, he conceded with a small smile. You're nervous. I'm about to tell a former crime boss that I'm pregnant with his son's baby, while said son is still technically married to someone else. Nervous doesn't quite cover it. Hey. He turned to face me, his hand cupping my cheek. You walked into my office and told me my quarterly report was garbage. You can handle my father. That was different. I didn't care if you liked me then. And you care if my father likes you? I considered lying, but Ji-Hoon's eyes saw too much. Maybe a little. He's important to you. His expression softened, and he kissed me gently. You're important to me. That's what matters. And for what it's worth, he's going to love you. How could he not? I can think of several reasons, starting with knocked up the air while he was married, and ending with not Korean enough for the family bloodline. My father married for love the second time around, after my mother passed. He married a woman from Busan who everyone said wasn't good enough. He, of all people, understands following your heart. Ji-Hoon's thumb traced my cheekbone. Besides, he's been begging me to divorce Hygiene for years. He hated that arrangement. Before I could respond, the car stopped. The driver opened the door, and Ji-Hoon stepped out first, extending his hand to help me. I took it, letting him pull me close as we approached the main house. A woman in her 50s emerged, elegant in a hanbok, her smile warm but assessing. Ji-Hoon's stepmother, I realized. Ayana SSI, she said in perfect English. I'm Sunmi. Welcome to our home. Thank you for having me, Mrs. Kang. Please call me Sunmi. She linked her arm through mine, effectively stealing me from Ji-Hoon. Come. Your Korean is very good, but let's speak English so you're comfortable. My husband is waiting, and he's been unbearable all morning. Nervous? I asked. Excited. She patted my arm. We've been waiting for Ji-Hoon to find someone real. Someone who sees him, not just the family name. And from what I hear, you see him very clearly. We entered a sitting room where a man in his 60s sat reading a newspaper. Kang Dae-young looked exactly like an older version of Ji-Hoon. Sharp features, intelligent eyes, and an air of controlled danger that probably never fully disappeared, no matter how legitimate the business became. He stood when we entered, his gaze moving from Ji-Hoon to me with clear assessment. Appa, Ji-Hoon said, his hand finding mine again. This is Ayana Okonkwo. Mr. Kang, I said, bowing slightly. Thank you for meeting with us. Sit, both of you. His voice was gruff but not unkind. Sunmi brought tea, and we arranged ourselves on the low cushions. So, You're pregnant with my son's child. Father, Ji-Hoon started, but I squeezed his hand. Yes, sir. I am. And you work for him. I head his special projects division, yes. Which means you know about the family business. All of it. I do. He studied me for a long moment. You're not afraid. I'm terrified, I admitted. But not of you. I'm afraid of messing this up. Of not being enough. Of disappointing Ji-Hoon or failing our child. But I'm not afraid of your family's past or your reputation. Everyone has a history, Mr. Kang. What matters is what you're building for the future. Silence stretched. Then Dae-young laughed, a deep, genuine sound that filled the room. I like her, he announced to Sunmi, who smiled knowingly. She has spine. And she's honest. He turned back to me. Most people either kiss my ass or act terrified. You're just real. I'm from Lagos, I said with a shrug. We're not really good at fake. Another laugh. Tell me about yourself. Your family. Your education. How you ended up in Seoul working for my foolish son who couldn't keep his marriage intact for one more month. It wasn't one more month, Ji-Hoon interjected. The divorce was already filed before. Before you got her pregnant? His father's eyebrow rose. Barely. Actually, I said, I got myself pregnant. Well, we got me pregnant. Together. It's a team effort, really. Sunmi snorted into her tea. Even Dae-young's lips twitched. I like her very much, he repeated. Now, talk. I want to know everything about the woman who finally gave my son a reason to fight for what he wants instead of what's expected. So I talked. About growing up in Lagos, about my father's import business and my mother's school, about earning my MBA and choosing Seoul because I wanted a challenge. About walking into Ji-Hoon's office and telling him his report was garbage. You didn't, Sunmi gasped. I absolutely did. And he promoted me for it. Because she was right, Ji-Hoon added, smiling at me with such open affection that my heart squeezed. She's always right. It's incredibly annoying. Not always, I protested. I was wrong about Korean winters. You said bring warm clothes. I thought I knew what warm meant. I did not know what warm meant. They laughed and somehow, impossibly, I felt the tension ease. We spent the next hour talking, Sunmi sharing embarrassing childhood stories about Ji-Hoon, Dae-young asking surprisingly thoughtful questions about my career plans and my family's reaction to the pregnancy. I hadn't told them yet, which earned me a gentle scolding from Sunmi. The Min family will cause trouble, Dae-young said eventually, his tone serious again. Hye-jin's father is a vindictive man. He'll see this as a loss of face. Let him, Ji-Hoon said, his jaw setting. I'm done with that arrangement. The merger will proceed or it won't, but I'm not sacrificing my happiness, our happiness, for business politics. Brave words, son. But the Min family has connections. Political ones. They could make things difficult for Ayana. Immigration issues. Work permit problems. Ways to pressure her into leaving. They can try, I said quietly. But I'm not going anywhere. Dae-young studied me again, then nodded. No. I don't think you are. He stood, and we followed. You have my support. Both of you. I'll handle Min Jae-sung. He and I have history. He won't touch my grandchild or the woman carrying it. The word grandchild seemed to hit him, and his stern expression softened. A baby. My first grandchild. Unless your older son has been busy, I said, then immediately wished I could take it back. Sorry. That was inappropriate. But Dae-young laughed again. My older son is too busy with his new boyfriend in New York to think about children. So yes, you're giving me my first grandchild. Which means your family now, Ayana. And we protect family. The words hit harder than expected. Family. This complicated, dangerous, loving family was claiming me. Us. Thank you, I managed, my voice thick. Sunmi hugged me. Come for dinner next week. Bring your appetite and prepare for her to spoil you. I will cook all your cravings, she promised. What do you want? Jjigae? Bulgogi? Nigerian food? I'll learn. You don't have to. I want to. She smiled. You're carrying my grandchild. Let me feed you properly. As we prepared to leave, Dae-young pulled Ji-hoon aside. I pretended not to listen but absolutely heard. She's special. Don't screw this up. I won't, Ji-hoon promised. Good. Because I like her better than you. In the car, Ji-hoon pulled me close, kissing my temple. Told you they'd love you. Your family is slightly terrifying and completely wonderful. Welcome to Kong family life. His hand rested on my stomach. How are you feeling? The baby. We're good. Tired but good. Let's go home. You can nap while I finish the merger paperwork. Home, I repeated, testing the word. His penthouse had become our space over the past weeks, my things slowly migrating from my apartment to his. I like the sound of that. Good. Because I'm never letting you leave. He kissed me then, deep and claiming, his hand protective over our baby. And despite everything, the threats, the complications, the impossible situation, I felt safe. Loved. Home. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number made my blood run cold. Enjoy your happiness while it lasts. You took what was mine. I'll take everything from you. HJ. Ji-hoon's phone buzzed simultaneously. His expression darkened as he read his own message. What is it? I asked. He showed me the text. The Min family has filed a lawsuit against Ayana for alienation of affection. And Min Jae-sung is calling in political favors to revoke her work visa. This isn't over, Ji-hoon. You chose wrong. Our eyes met, and despite the fear coiling in my stomach, I lifted my chin. So what do we do? Ji-hoon's expression shifted from worry to something fierce and determined. He cupped my face, his thumb brushing my cheek. We fight. Together. Then his mouth claimed mine in a kiss that promised protection, passion, and war. Alienation of affection. I stared at the lawyer across Ji-hoon's office conference table. That's actually a thing? In Korea, yes, Attorney Park said, pushing his glasses up. If a spouse can prove that a third party intentionally interfered with their marriage, causing its breakdown, they can sue for damages. But their marriage was arranged. It was already over. Legally, it wasn't over until the divorce finalized. Which it hasn't yet. Park looked apologetic. Min Hye-jin is arguing that you seduced her husband, destroyed her marriage, and caused her emotional distress. She's seeking 50 million won in damages. I laughed, a slightly hysterical sound. 50 million? I don't have 50,000 won in savings. That's the point, Ji-hoon said darkly, his hand covering mine on the table. They're trying to intimidate you. Pressure you into leaving Korea. And there's more, Park continued reluctantly. The Min family has connections in immigration. They flagged your work visa for review. Claims that your position was created specifically to justify your presence in Korea. That it's not a legitimate employment situation. That's insane. I run an entire division. We know that. But proving it to immigration officials who are being pressured by powerful people. Park trailed off meaningfully. Ji-hoon stood abruptly, pacing to the window. The tension in his shoulders made me want to go to him, but I stayed seated, trying to process everything. What are our options? I asked. Fight both cases, Park said. The alienation suit is weak. We have evidence the marriage was contractual and that both parties maintained separate lives. But it'll be messy and public. As for the visa situation, we can demonstrate your legitimate employment, but the review process could take months. During which time you'd need to leave Korea. No. Ji-hoon's voice was steel. She's not leaving. Ji-hoon, if immigration requires it. Then we'll find another way. He turned back to us, his expression fierce. What about marriage? If we're married, they can't deport her. My heart stopped. What? A spouse visa. It's immediate and can't be revoked as easily. He looked at Park. Right. Well, yes, but we're not married, I interrupted. And you're still legally married to someone else. The divorce will finalize in 2 weeks. The moment it does, we get married. Ji-Hoon. I stood, facing him. That's crazy. We've been together for 3 months. You can't marry me just to solve a legal problem. His hands framed my face, his eyes intense. You're carrying my baby. You're the woman I want to wake up next to every morning. You make me laugh, challenge me, see me for who I actually am beyond the family name and the business. So tell me, Ayana, what exactly is crazy about wanting to marry you? My breath caught. Park cleared his throat. I'll just step outside for a moment. Neither of us noticed him leave. You're proposing because of a visa issue, I said, but my voice wavered. I'm proposing because I love you. The words landed like a bomb. I've loved you since you walked into my office and told me my report was garbage. I've loved you through every late-night dinner, every awful joke, every moment you've made me feel like life could be more than just obligations and expectations. The visa situation just moved up my timeline. Your timeline. He pulled out his phone, opening a photo. It was a ring, a stunning emerald-cut diamond set in platinum with smaller stones along the band. I bought this 3 weeks ago. I was planning to propose properly. Romantic dinner, the whole thing. But life decided to accelerate our schedule, and honestly. He smiled. I'm not mad about it. I want you to be my wife, Ayana. Today, tomorrow, as soon as legally possible. Tears blurred my vision. You love me. So much it terrifies me. His thumb brushed away a tear. And I know this is fast, I know the circumstances are insane, but... I kissed him. Hard. Poured everything I felt into it. The love, the fear, the absolute certainty that this man, this impossible situation, was exactly where I belonged. Yes, I whispered against his lips. Yes to everything. His arms crushed me close, and I felt him shaking, with relief, with emotion, with love. I'm going to make you so happy. You already do. I pulled back enough to meet his eyes. But Ji-Hoon, I need you to be sure. Marriage because of love is one thing. Marriage because of legal pressure is still marriage to you, which is all I want. He kissed me again, softer this time. We'll fight the lawsuit. We'll handle the visa situation. But we do it as husband and wife. As partners. As a team. A team, I repeated, smiling through tears. I like that. Good. Because you're stuck with me now. Park knocked hesitantly. Is it safe to come back in? We're getting married, Ji-Hoon announced. The moment the divorce finalizes. Congratulations. Park smiled genuinely. That actually solves several problems. But we still need to address the alienation lawsuit and prepare for the media attention. This will be big news. The Kang heir divorcing a Min daughter and immediately marrying his employee. The tabloids will be vicious. Let them, I said, surprising myself with my certainty. I've dealt with worse than gossip. Have you? Ji-Hoon asked gently. Because it's going to be racist, Ayana. They'll say terrible things about you being African, about our baby, about why I chose you over hygiene. I know. I squeezed his hand. And it'll hurt. But I've spent my whole life being underestimated because of how I look, where I'm from. I'm not going to let that stop me from being with the man I love. Ji-Hoon kissed my forehead, lingering there. You're so strong. I'm terrified, I admitted. But I'm also sure. About you. About us. We spent the next 2 hours with Park, strategizing. The alienation lawsuit was manageable. We had texts, calendar records, even testimony from Ji-Hoon's staff showing that his marriage to hygiene had been dead long before I arrived. The visa situation was trickier, but marriage would solve it. The real problem was public opinion. The Min family will leak their version of events, Park warned. They'll paint you as a homewrecker, Ayana. They'll make Ji-Hoon look like he abandoned his wife for an affair. So we control the narrative, Ji-Hoon said. We tell our story first. Honestly. That's risky. Admitting to a relationship while you were still married. The marriage was over. Everyone in our social circle knew it. We were open about living separate lives. Ji-Hoon's jaw set. I'm not going to hide or apologize for falling in love. We'll do an interview. Explain everything. That'll make you both targets, Park warned. We already are targets. I looked at Ji-Hoon. At least this way, we're honest ones. He smiled, proud and loving. Exactly. After Park left, Ji-Hoon pulled me onto the couch, his arms wrapping around me from behind, his hand resting on my stomach. How are you really feeling? He murmured against my hair. With everything. Overwhelmed. Excited. Scared. In love. I leaned back against him. Normal, I think, for someone whose life turned completely upside down in 3 months. Good upside down or bad? The best kind. I turned to face him. Ji-Hoon, I need you to know, I'm not marrying you just for the visa. If that was the only reason, I'd find another way. I'm marrying you because I love you. Because when I think about my future, you're in every version of it. His eyes went suspiciously bright. You're going to make me cry in my own office. Big bad Mafia CEO can't handle emotions. Not when they're about you. He kissed me softly. I love you, Ayana Okonkwo. Soon to be Ayana Kong. Ayana Okonkwo Kong, I corrected. I'm keeping my name too. Perfect. I wouldn't want it any other way. We sat there, wrapped in each other, until my stomach growled loudly. Ji-Hoon laughed. When did you eat last? Breakfast? Maybe. It's 6 p.m. Come on, I'm feeding you and our baby properly. He stood, pulling me up. What do you want? Something greasy and completely unhealthy. Korean fried chicken it is. We'll get the whole set, original, soy garlic spicy. This is why I love you. Because I feed you fried chicken. That's definitely in the top 5 reasons. He grabbed his jacket, but before we could leave, his phone rang. His expression darkened as he answered. Hyung. His older brother. What's wrong? I could hear the urgent voice on the other end but couldn't make out words. Ji-Hoon's face went pale. When? How bad? Okay. I'm coming now. He hung up, already moving. We need to go to the hospital. My father collapsed. They think it's his heart. My own heart stopped. Oh my God. Ji-Hoon. Come with me. Please. I need you there. Of course. Let's go. In the car racing to the hospital, Ji-Hoon gripped my hand so hard it hurt, but I didn't complain. His father, the man who'd welcomed me that morning, who'd laughed and promised to protect us, might be dying. He's going to be okay, I said, trying to sound certain. He's strong. He has a heart condition. Has for years. I thought it was managed, but his voice broke. I pulled him close, letting him bury his face in my shoulder. He'll be okay. He has to be. He hasn't taught me all his embarrassing Ji-Hoon stories yet. A wet laugh against my neck. That's your priority right now? I have many priorities. Keeping you sane is one of them. At the hospital, we found Sunmi and Ji-Hoon's brother Taehyun in the surgical waiting area. Sunmi's face was tear-streaked but composed. He's in surgery, she said as Ji-Hoon embraced her. Triple bypass. They said, her voice wavered. They said he's stable, but it was close. He's going to make it, Taehyun said firmly. He was an older, slightly softer version of Ji-Hoon, and right now he looked exhausted. Dad's too stubborn to die. We settled in to wait. Hours passed. Sunmi dozed fitfully, and Taehyun went to get coffee. Ji-Hoon and I sat in uncomfortable plastic chairs, his hand never leaving mine. I can't lose him, he whispered. Not now. Not when everything's finally. You won't. I squeezed his hand. Your father's a fighter. Like his son. Ayana. He turned to me. If something happens to him, The family business falls to Taehyun and me. Taehyun handles the American operations, which means I'd be running everything here. It's a lot. More responsibility, more danger potentially, more reasons for me to stay by your side, I finished. Ji-Hoon, I'm not going anywhere. Not because of lawsuits, not because of responsibility, not because of anything. I'm here. With you. Always. He kissed me desperately, pouring fear and love and need into it. When we broke apart, both breathless, a doctor in scrubs approached. Kang family. We all stood. Sunmi gripped my hand like a lifeline. The surgery was successful, the doctor said, and the collective exhale was audible. He'll need recovery time and lifestyle changes, but he should make a full recovery. Sunmi collapsed against me, sobbing in relief. I held her while Ji-Hoon spoke with the doctor, getting details. Taehyun returned with coffee and nearly dropped it when we told him the good news. Can we see him? Sunmi asked. Soon. He's in recovery. Give him an hour, then immediate family can visit. After the doctor left, Sunmi squeezed my hand. Thank you. For being here. For him. Always, I promised. Ji-Hoon pulled me aside, cupping my face. I need to tell you something. With my father's health uncertain, I'm going to be taking on more responsibility, which means more time at the office, more dangerous business dealings to untangle as we finish going legitimate, more reasons for me to be your partner in this, I said. Stop trying to protect me from your life, Ji-Hoon. I chose you. All of you. The CEO, the son, the future head of the family. I'm not scared. You should be. The people we're cutting ties with? They're not happy about going legitimate. And with my father vulnerable. Then we handle it. Together. I pulled his face down to mine. Stop trying to give me outs. I don't want them. He kissed me hard, claiming and grateful and desperate. I love you so damn much. I love you too. Now let's go see your dad and tell him he's going to be a grandfather soon. That should motivate his recovery. Ji-Hoon laughed, the tension finally breaking. You're brilliant. I know. It's one of my best qualities. It's in the top 5, right after fried chicken appreciation? Exactly. We went to see his father together, the whole family crowding into the recovery room. Dae-young looked pale and tired but alive, his eyes opening when we entered. You're all here, he said weakly, smiling. Making my heart attack all about you. It was bypass surgery, not a heart attack, Sunmi scolded gently, but her eyes were wet. Details. His gaze found me and Ji-Hoon, our hands clasped together. You two figure things out? We're getting married, Ji-Hoon announced. As soon as the divorce finalizes. Dae-young's smile widened despite his obvious exhaustion. Good. Life's too short to waste time. I should know, I almost just ran out of it. Don't joke about that, Sunmi whispered, but she was smiling through tears. You're going to be a grandfather, I added. So you need to get better. This baby needs to know their stubborn, wonderful grandfather. His eyes went suspiciously bright. A grandfather. I'm going to spoil that child rotten. We're counting on it, Ji-Hoon said. We stayed until the nurses kicked us out, promising to return in the morning. In the car back to Ji-Hoon's penthouse, I finally let the exhaustion of the day crash over me. Come here, Ji-Hoon murmured, pulling me against his side. Sleep. I've got you. I drifted off to the sound of his heartbeat, steady and strong, and dreamed of a future where everything worked out, where lawsuits were won, families were protected, and love conquered all the impossible obstacles in our way. When we got home, Ji-Hoon carried me from the car to bed, even though I protested I could walk. Indulge me, he said, laying me gently on the mattress. Today was a lot. The understatement of the year. I pulled him down next to me. But we got through it. We did. His hand rested on my stomach. How's the baby? Probably wondering why their parents are so dramatic. He laughed, the sound warm and real. They're in for a lifetime of drama with us. The best kind, though. I kissed him softly. Ji-Hoon. Thank you. For choosing me. For loving me. For being exactly who you are. His eyes searched mine in the darkness. I'm the one who should be thanking you. You walked into my life and changed everything. Made me realize I could have more than just duty and obligation. That I could have happiness. We both deserve happiness. I traced his jaw with my finger. And we're going to fight for it. Together. Together, he agreed, catching my hand and kissing my palm. Now sleep. Tomorrow we start fighting back. But before sleep could claim me, his phone buzzed. And then mine. The same message on both. Press conference tomorrow at 10 a.m. Min Hae-jin is telling her side of the story. Thought you should know. Attorney Park. Ji-Hoon's jaw clenched. She's going to try to destroy you publicly. Let her try. I sat up, suddenly wide awake. We'll hold our own press conference. Right after hers. Tell our truth. Ayana. No. I'm done being afraid of what people will say. Your father almost died today. Life's too short to hide. We tell our story, Ji-Hoon. Honestly. Openly. And we let the world judge. But at least they'll have the truth. He stared at me for a long moment, then a slow smile spread across his face. You're amazing. I know. Now call Attorney Park and set it up. Tomorrow, we go to war. His kiss was fierce and proud and full of promise. Tomorrow, we go to war. Min Hae-jin looked perfect on the screen. Elegant in a cream Dior suit, her hair pulled back, her expression the picture of wounded dignity. I trusted my husband, she said to the reporters crowding the Min family's press room. I believed in our marriage, even when it was difficult. And then she came along. The photo that appeared behind her was one of me and Ji-Hoon at a charity gala 3 weeks ago, his hand on my lower back, both of us laughing at something. It looked intimate. Damning. An employee, Hae-jin continued, her voice breaking perfectly. Someone I welcomed into our business family. And she systematically destroyed my marriage, seduced my husband, and is now carrying his child while we're still legally married. I watched from Ji-Hoon's office, our own press conference scheduled for noon, just 2 hours after hers. She's good, I admitted. The crying is very believable. It's all performance, Ji-Hoon said grimly. She doesn't care about me or the marriage. This is about saving face for her family. I know. But the public doesn't. I gestured to the screen where Hae-jin was now taking questions, each answer carefully crafted to paint me as a homewrecker and herself as a victim. Ms. Min, what do you want from this situation? Justice, she said simply. And I want that woman to understand the pain she's caused. She took my husband, my future, my dignity. And I want her to pay for it. The reporters ate it up. Social media was already exploding. I'd made the mistake of checking before we left. The comments were vicious. Gold digger foreigner, how could he choose her over Min Hae-jin? She probably got pregnant on purpose to trap him, go back to Africa. That last one made my stomach turn. Ji-Hoon saw my expression and took my phone, setting it face down. Don't read them. They don't know you. They don't know us. They will after today. I stood, smoothing my navy dress. Elegant but not trying too hard. Attorney Park had advised, sympathetic but strong. Ready to face the firing squad? Ready to tell our truth. He pulled me close, kissing my forehead. And Ayana? No matter what they say, no matter how ugly it gets, I love you. That's not changing. I love you too. I straightened his tie even though it didn't need it. Now let's go show them who we really are. The press room Ji-Hoon had booked was packed. Cameras everywhere, reporters shouting questions before we even sat down. Attorney Park sat between us, and I was grateful for the buffer. Thank you for coming, Ji-Hoon began, his voice steady. I know you've all seen Ms. Min's conference this morning. Now I'd like to share the full truth. He explained everything. The arranged marriage, the mutual agreement to live separate lives, the fact that he'd filed for divorce before I'd ever set foot in Korea. He was calm, factual, refusing to attack Hygiene even as he corrected her narrative. "And when did your relationship with Ms. Okonkwo begin?" a reporter asked. After the divorce proceedings started, Ji-Hoon said firmly. "Our marriage was over in everything but legal paperwork. Hygiene knew this. We both did. But Ms. Okonkwo is your employee. Isn't that an abuse of power?" "I promoted her before we became involved romantically," I interjected, my voice clear. "And I earned that promotion by being excellent at my job. Not through any personal relationship." "Ms. Okonkwo, how do you respond to accusations that you seduced a married man?" I took a breath, choosing my words carefully. I fell in love with someone who was already emotionally divorced. Someone who treated me as an equal, who valued my mind and my work. Was the timing complicated? Yes. But feelings don't wait for convenient moments. And I won't apologize for falling in love with a good man. Even though that man was married? That man, I said evenly, was in a business arrangement masquerading as a marriage. An arrangement that both parties agreed was over. I didn't destroy a loving relationship. I found love with someone who was already free, just waiting for the paperwork to catch up. "And the pregnancy?" another reporter asked. "Some are saying it's awfully convenient timing." Ji-Hoon's hand found mine under the table, squeezing tight. "The pregnancy was unplanned but very much wanted. And we're thrilled to be starting a family together. Mr. Kang, your father had a health emergency yesterday. Some are speculating that the stress of this situation is completely manageable," a new voice interrupted. We all turned to see Kang Dae-young himself walking into the press conference, Sunmi at his side. He looked tired but determined. "Father," Ji-Hoon stood quickly. "You should be in the hospital. And miss my son defend the woman he loves? Not a chance." Dae-young took a seat at the table, Sunmi beside him. The reporters went wild. "Mr. Kang, you approve of this relationship?" "I more than approve. I'm thrilled." His voice carried authority that silenced the room. "My son spent years in a loveless arrangement because it was expected. Because it was good for business. And I watched him be miserable. Then Ayana came along, and for the first time in years, I saw my son truly happy." He turned to look at me, his expression warm. "This young woman is brilliant, strong, and exactly what our family needs. She challenges my son, supports him, and makes him better. And she's carrying my first grandchild. So yes, I not only approve, I'm grateful she came into our lives." I felt tears prick my eyes. Sunmi reached over and squeezed my hand. "But what about the Min family alliance?" a reporter asked. "The Min family will always be business partners," Dae-young said. "But forcing two people to stay in a dead marriage for appearances? That's not how we do things anymore. My family is moving forward, building something better. And that includes supporting my son's happiness. Even if it costs you politically?" "Some things," Dae-young said firmly, "are worth more than political convenience. Like love. Like family. Like integrity." The press conference continued for another 30 minutes. Questions ranged from sympathetic to hostile, but having Ji-Hoon's family there, publicly supporting us, changed the narrative. We weren't just a scandal anymore. We were a love story, messy but real. Afterward, in a private room, Dae-young collapsed into a chair, looking exhausted. "Dad, you shouldn't have," Ji-Hoon started. "Yes, I should have." His father smiled tiredly. "You're my son. She's going to be my daughter. Someone had to show the world that we stand together." "Thank you," I said, my voice thick with emotion. "You didn't have to do that." "Yes, I did. Because family protects family." He gestured to Sunmi. "Now, someone get me back to the hospital before the doctors send a search party." As Sunmi helped him up, Attorney Park's phone buzzed. His expression shifted as he read. "The Min family just released a statement," he said slowly. "They're dropping the alienation lawsuit." "What?" Ji-Hoon looked shocked. "Why?" "Public opinion shifted after your father's appearance. Social media is now 50-50 instead of 90-10 against you. The Min family can't afford to look vindictive, not with Dae-young playing the supportive father card so publicly. Park smiled slightly. Well played. I didn't plan it as strategy, Dae-young said. I just told the truth. Sometimes that's the best strategy, I said. Back at the penthouse that evening, Ji-hoon and I finally had a moment alone. We ordered in, jjajangmyeon and tangsuyeok, and ate sprawled on the couch, both too emotionally drained to do anything but exist together. Your father is amazing, I said around a mouthful of noodles. He likes you. Really likes you. Ji-hoon smiled. I think he likes you better than me. That's because I'm more charming. And modest. That too. I set down my food, suddenly serious. Ji-hoon, today was a lot. Seeing myself torn apart online, hearing people say such ugly things. I'm sorry. He pulled me close. I wish I could shield you from all of it. I don't need shielding. I just need you to keep loving me through it. To keep choosing me, even when it's hard. That's the easiest thing in the world. He kissed me softly. You're it for me, Ayana. The only one. Forever. Forever's a long time. Not long enough. His hand rested on my stomach. How are you feeling? Today was stressful. The baby is fine. I'm fine. Tired but fine. I covered his hand with mine. We're tough. Both of us. You're the toughest person I know. His lips brushed my temple. The divorce finalizes in 1 week. And the day it does. We get married, I finished. Small ceremony? Just family. Whatever you want. Big, small, Vegas wedding chapel. I don't care as long as you're my wife at the end of it. I turned to face him fully. I want small. Your family, my parents via video call, a few close friends. Something real and intimate, not a show. Perfect. He kissed me deeper this time, his hands tangling in my braids. 1 week until you're legally stuck with me. I'm already stuck with you. The marriage is just paperwork. Romantic. I'm full of romance. It's one of my best qualities. Top 5. Top 3 at least. He laughed, and then his mouth was on mine again, hungry and claiming. The kiss deepened, his hands exploring, my body responding despite my exhaustion. Bedroom, I murmured against his lips. Can't wait that long. He pulled me onto his lap, his hands sliding under my dress. Ji-hoon. Tell me to stop. Absolutely not. What followed was desperate and passionate and exactly what we both needed. Reassurance through touch, connection beyond words, love expressed in gasps and whispered names. Later, tangled in bedsheets, his fingers tracing lazy patterns on my skin, I felt something shift inside me. Not the baby, though I swore I could feel something there too, a presence that was both us and separate. But something emotional. A settling. A knowing. I'm going to marry you, I said into the darkness. I know. 1 week. No, I mean, I'm really going to marry you. Build a life with you. Have this baby with you. And it doesn't scare me anymore. He propped himself up on one elbow, looking down at me. It scared you before? Terrified me. This whole thing, falling in love so fast, getting pregnant, dealing with your complicated family and even more complicated business. It was overwhelming. And now? Now I realize that overwhelming doesn't mean wrong. Sometimes the best things in life are messy and complicated and happen faster than you planned. I touched his face. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me, Ji-hoon Kang. Mess and all. His kiss was soft and reverent. You're my everything, Ayana. My future, my heart, my home. That's really romantic. Top 5 material, at least. He laughed and pulled me closer. Sleep. Tomorrow we start planning a wedding. And finishing that merger deal. Always thinking about work. Someone has to keep your company running while you're being romantic. This is why I promoted you. I thought it was because I told you your report was garbage. That too. We drifted off, tangled together, the city lights of Seoul twinkling through the windows, the future uncertain but ours to build. My phone buzzed one last time before sleep claimed me. A text from an unknown number. Congratulations on your press conference performance. But this isn't over. Enjoy your happiness while it lasts. The real consequences are just beginning. I deleted it without showing Ji-Hoon. Tomorrow was for dealing with threats. Tonight was for love. If you loved Ayana and Ji-Hoon's story, please don't forget to subscribe. And comment part 2. Your support helps me create more content like this. Drop a comment below telling me what you thought. Did you ship them from the start, or did it take you a minute? And hit that notification bell so you don't miss future stories. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the best things in life are messy, complicated, and happen way faster than you planned. Embrace the chaos. Choose love. And never be afraid to tell someone their report is garbage if it actually is. See you in the next story.